So the first thing you want to do is to head over to your Play Store, then search for the app JV Droid. JV Droid, there are other apps like J Studio, APM, or in general, you can just search for Java compiler. You see a list of different apps presented to you. Now, this app is what we regard to as the code editor. So you notice that whenever you want to write a code, you always make use of an app. This app is what edits your code. It's not that it actually edits your code. You are the user. You are the one to edit your code in the format. So what does this app help you to do? what what benefit does this app gives to you? This app gives you the benefit of being able to speak to the computer in respect to whatever language you want to use to speak to the computer. We have thousands of languages out there. We have the Python, Java, JavaScript, C, C++, SQL, C Sharp, PHP, jQuery. There are so many of them out there. TypeScript. There are so many of them out there. There are thousands of them. Now, these languages, some have their specific purposes like CSS, HTML. These are styling language and the web page language, a website interface language. So HTML simply stands for Hypertext Markup Language. But in consideration today, we'll be talking on Java. So these languages have a pattern, they have a procedure they follow in order for you to use them to speak to the computer. It's just like you speaking your local language, and this local language have a pattern. They have a step they follow in order for in order for someone to understand, someone who understands that language. Now, in the case of the computer, the only thing the computer understands is zeros and one, which is binary. It only understands true, false, yes, no, 0, 1. So that's the only thing it understands. Now, in order to speak to the computer, professionals have been able to create a structure that we can all follow, that enable us to be able to speak to the computer in a way that make it easier, that we cannot speak to the computer in our own language that we understand. So, but remember, the computer does not understand our own local language. It only understands zeros and one. Now, you want to speak to the computer using zeros and one, and you do not. A simple example, you can have a word like let's say hello. Now, this word hello comes with different zeros and one. Starting for the very first letter, H. Now, the binary code for H is going to be 101000. And for E is going to be, now please note that the capital letter H and the small letter h have the two different binary code. For the capital letter, it is 100100. That's 100100. And for the small letter, it is 110100. But now, following this order, hello, which starts with the capital letter H, for H is going to be 10010000. For E is going to be 11000101. For L is going to be 11011100, repeating itself twice. And for O is going to be 11011111. So you can see all these processes. Now, we humans do not understand this set. These are languages. If we don't know level language, we do not understand this set of languages. But the computer, this is what the computer understands. Now, we need to be able to speak to the computer in our own normal language, which we understand, and the computer needs to understand that language. So that's why whenever you want to speak to the computer, we always make use of an app. Inside the app called Code Editor, the app is built in a way that it follows a specific pattern, a fixed pattern, which we can follow to use to speak to the computer, and the computer will understand. Not only this pattern, this part also contains a translator and a converter. Now, it is this app that is going to convert our human language to the binary code the computer understand. And that's where the concept of code editor and IDE comes in. So an IDE simply stands for Integrated Development Environment. While the code editor, so an IDE stands for Integrated Development Environment. So it is another way of saying a code editor. So when you hear code editor, when you see a code editor, you should have an ID. When you see an ID, you should have a code editor. A code editor is more also like an ID, but they have a very slightly little difference, which I'm not going to cover in this video. So, but just get that in mind. They basically do the same thing. They enable you to write your code in various languages. It can be in Python, in C, in Java. So it is this code that you use, this language you use to speak to the computer. Now, remember I said that professionals have made a pattern in which we can follow to in order to in which we can they have made a pattern in which we can follow in order to speak to the computer. Now this pattern is what we regard as the algorithm. The algorithm is simply the step-by-step process to solve a problem. So it is a step-by-step procedure to solve a problem, and the procedure is a finite sequence of well-defined instructions.